Alright, hello everyone, and welcome into this presentation of the PRA Challenger Series as part of the Stock Series here on the PRA Network. I'm going to be your host for night 81. Joining me into the booth is a new face. Joining me into the booth tonight is Redline. How are you doing? And want to introduce yourself to the audience. Of course, and fun is what is all about, as we are here at the Sardegna circuit, the C layout reverse here in our qualifying session. We will have 10 minutes to set the qualifying times. There are 2 lobbies currently up. We are here spectating the Chevrolet lobby with our 3 manufacturers, Chevy, Ford, and Toyota. Toyota is in their own lobby, and the 4 Ford drivers are split between the 2 lobbies. Perfect timing. Thank you, B-Dog, for our demonstrative time over there, as we are currently going to hop on board for a minute with Pocono. The reason for this is because he is currently our points leader after week 1's race at Daytona, our 50-lap marathon at Daytona Oval. As we come here, we are going to be running 30 laps in the main race, and as I mentioned before, 10 minutes for qualifying, as Pocono sets down a 56.8 to start us off with the fastest lap. That's right, it's really their main focus, honestly, beyond track limits, is overall just keeping the car on the track in general with the tire wear here. Tonight we'll be running 3 times tire wear and fuel, as will be standard for the season. So, the tire wear here is going to be very key, as with these fast sweeping corners, it's going to burn a hole, especially into the left front tire, but really all 4 tires are going to be suffering through most of this race. So we're going to see if people choose the hard tire. Will be a slower option, but a more consistent option, and we will see if they could get softs through the whole race without flying off the track. Hold on. Let's see. That's probably a me end. Hello? Copy 1 2. Let's see. Are we live? Can anyone tell me who is anyone in chat? We will take a technical difficulty break for a moment and try to get loaded back into the lobby. I can hear you. Gotcha, yeah, you could get your settings together. And great start we've got going on here.
Well, testing 1, 2, 3.
Anyone in chat, can you hear Redline? And can you hear me, or are we good on stream?
Hopefully they can hear me.
Do another mic test.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we're good. I was testing it. Okay, so a little bit of a mess there we could do. So
Sure, please stop, by the way.
Yeah, I got you. Alright, so technical difficulties aside, what would be a GT7 race without technical difficulties? As I will stand by that every single time. We are back here. You know what, let's just start fresh. We had technical difficulties. We're going to pretend like the last few minutes didn't happen as you get to see wonderful qualifying still in the... Ooh, you're going to have some connection issues, pal.
Yeah.
We're going to try to see if we get Redline's mic working, but for now, well, not mic working, but his connection working. But for now, Redline, now that your mic's on, go ahead and if you want to repeat your little spiel and your introduction to the audiences. Redline will be joining the PRA family and crew for some time, joining us in the booth.
Hi, my name's Redline. I'm a former, still racing a little bit, but I'm an AMS driver from Apex Motorsports. I've done multiple racing in multiple different leagues, and I do a lot of sim racing. I did a lot of sim racing for 5 years now. And I finally retired due to personal reasons in my personal life, and I am now decided to come back and do some more not more commentating, but rather do some commentating for the folks out there at home, and just rather Turismo community, and just keep it going.
Play back up after the end of this qualifying session, but as we close out lap 10 with these 10-minute qualifying sessions, as I mentioned before, this is the A lobby, with the B lobby featuring the Toyotas and 2 of the 4 Fords qualifying in their own lobby. We'll get the results after that. As we round to the end of qualifying as the points leader, Pocono crosses the line, currently on pole position, with Byaku in second. I hope I'm saying it right, apologies. Lysos in third, Smoke14 in fourth. So how our qualifying works, I'll go over it really quick. So all 3 manufacturers have a chance to qualify, with the top 4 from each manufacturer making it. So since there are 4 Ford drivers active and registered tonight, all 4 Ford drivers will make it. However, qualifying is obviously still important for starting position. Then between the Toyotas and the Chevys, both have, I believe, 6 or 7 people entered into the race. So the top 4 Chevys will make the race, and the top 4 Toyotas will make the race. And then from there, of the remaining drivers, the next 2 with the top fastest times will make it into qualifying. As we're on board with Pocono on the 11th and final lap of qualifying, not extending his time, but with a 56.8, looks like he may hold on to that lead. Looks like we got you in the lobby, actually. Redline, do you have a copy?
Yeah. How many drivers are there again? I just want to make sure I view of all drivers.
There are 8 in this
total?
lobby. Yes.
I can see them all.
Awesome. we're off to a good start then. Though, luckily for you, we might be switching over to another lobby after this anyway. So,
Great!
out of this lobby, I will point out, I'm looking at the fastest times. Smoke14 actually set the fastest lap at the end there with a 56.533. So, strong time from the free agent Chevy driver in the 04 Wendy's car. With Automation in second in the number 5 car, 56.851. And in the third place is, as I mentioned, our points leader, Pocono, with a 56.876 out of this lobby.
And mind you, there's only like 5/10 there that separates the first, 6 drivers here in qualifying, and that's quite a small margin. And we're going to see a lot more pack racing than I thought we would see here at Sardegna.
Indeed, as these guys are going to try their best to make it competitive despite this tight track, all of them being side by side. As now we will actually head over to the qualifying B session to take a look at the Toyotas and the Chevys. Toyotas and the Fords, apologies. To Trent's lobby we go. I guess I will go. I will try to set up the share play one more time. Let me see, I can... Do you just one moment? Alright.
Gran Turismo being one awesome game once again.
Indeed. Amazing game here with totally flawless servers. Thank you, Polyphony. As we start the share screen for you to get in, and we are going to be starting the B qualifying lobby featuring the Toyotas and 2 of the Ford drivers. So as we mentioned, the top 4 Toyota drivers will make it guaranteed to the championship. Out of the other lobby, it would be the top 4 Chevys making it. Yeah, I think I got that right. As we are going to head out now onto the track to start our 10-minute words. Our second 10-minute qualifying session, led out by Trent.
Marvelous. Looks like I see all drivers here.
That's awesome. We're on the technical up and up.
Just double checking. Yep, seems like we're gonna have a great qualifying section here.
We'll pop on with Trent for this first lap here in heat number 2, driving the 33 Ford. He's guaranteed to make it in, driving just by virtue of driving a Ford. As mentioned before, only 4 Ford drivers signed up for the race tonight, and it's the top 4 drivers from each manufacturer who make it to the race. So all 4 Ford drivers are guaranteed in. Then there'll be the top 4 Toyota cars, as we have 11T hitting the wall into the uphill ass, pushing it possibly a little too hard there.
Like I want to re-mention here at this track, Sardegna has a lot of elevation changes, as we see a carnage going on there. Sardegna's got a lot of different elevation changes, and because of that, you got to be very careful how you approach these S-bends here. If you do not approach these S-bends correctly, I have a lot of experience here that you can really cause your car to have oversteer or understeer, ended up hitting one of those walls and causing more carnage behind you or in front of you. And these drivers really have to pay attention here, how they set up their car for each corner, and just really put in their all, just very carefully.
Well, as we have Trent starting off our group of pack, crossing the line first. Next behind him is Hyper. In third place is me, Moline, as these guys just start this qualifying session, kind of getting themselves sorted out, spaced out, giving each other enough room to put together some good laps, as there's too much space to be given here at the Sardegna circuit, especially with the sweeping S's that especially that we saw those few wrecks last lap, the uphill asphalt concrete walls. Hitting that full speed is very satisfying. It's the fastest way to do it, but it's also very risky. Lose the back end of the car just flying into the wall.
That is true. If you hit those walls, there's going to be a lot of damage. You're just going to have a tough time making laps around this track. And they're probably going to have to pit for that. Oh, and we see Mean Malines making another fantastic lap here. Making a 57.444, or 441 rather. 1/10 in front of Levity. Guitar Hero making a phenomenal faster lap here. It's a 57.2.
As we have these guys getting really into the groove now, we can go ahead and discuss some of the guys who are in this group tonight with the Toyotas. So first we can talk about Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero is in the number 78 Toyota. He's going to be racing for his own team, MRC Racing, with his teammate Fetz currently in the lobby as well, the Norwegian in 7th place. We have Mean Maline in the number 47 car. Mean Maline is a free agent racing on his own with the green stripes on the back, kind of matching into the monster paint scheme, but don't let it be fooled. The green stripes on the back, if you see that on any of the cars, that means those guys are going to be unrestricted free agents currently. So, not aligned to any team and free for any franchise owner to take a look at them and potentially add them on as part of their roster. Real quick, we'll talk about the two guys who just jumped up to the top of the boards, Alevity and Tyro. Both of those guys making a strong case up, trying to break the 57 barrier. Alevity did with a strong 56.69. As we do see what you're about to call out, Tyro pushing a little bit too hard out of the sweeping right on the back straight. Unfortunate for him, but they still have 5 minutes left to put their times in. Currently standing, 11T would be making it with the Toyotas. Tyro's guaranteed in as a 4 driver. Guitar Hero would make it in. Mean Maline would make it in, and Boring Peppers would make it in.
See them starting to get in the groove here as we see drivers starting to make corners and see them just in general just making nice paced laps, not doing too much. This is not really much going to have to say here, but seems like everyone's finally hit their groove.
That's right, as we see, as mentioned, more people getting into the stride of this track, getting the tires warmed up and everything. One thing we did talk about earlier is tire wear here at the track. So if you want to discuss how this track is really going to have an effect on the tire wear coming into this race.
Well, as from previous experience, there's many drivers will have different driving styles, meaning that everyone's going to push the cars to a different degree. Those who are going to push their cars harder and faster means they're going to probably have a little bit more tire spin, burning up those back 2 tires, and end up maybe having a little bit more oversteer throughout corners. Those who are a little bit more lenient on the throttle will end up having more of the front left tire wear, since this is a clockwise track. Having those tire wear is going to cause them to have more understeer through corners, and since this track has even got a lot of elevation changes, is going to really be hard on those tires. Meaning we're going to see some drivers who are going to push their cars a lot harder, and just going to be going for those harder compounds, seeing if they can get more long speed range out of or long run range out of their cars. And we'll see other drivers go with the soft strategy, see if they'll go for one stint on the softs and then go pit for more softs and see if they can make a lot more faster times. But though they'll be on the soft compound, they'll be hitting relatively, they're gonna have to pit more often.
All very good points made, as this track will, with the 3 times wear for tires and fuel, make a massive impact on the tire wear. As we will see into the race tonight, we will be running 30 laps in the main event. We will see if people will have to come in to pit. Some people may try to stretch out a full 30-lap stint of fuel and hard or even soft tires. Some people may try to stretch those soft tires out, as they are faster, just a little bit riskier, as it's easy to lose the car on this track. Or we might see... Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, my money's gonna be on for those drivers gonna go for the softs first and do another soft stint. They're gonna do a double softs here. I believe that the faster cars are gonna really see a lot more improvement with just the double stint softs. That's where my money's gonna be here on this track.
Very strong place to put a bet, I would say. As really quick, we'll point out we're on board with 11T. 11T did head into the pits to get fresh tires of his own for the end of this qualifying stint. And he's currently running a purple second sector heading into the final hairpin. Let's see how he gets through this corner. Pretty much with ease, as he's going to head onto the back straight, and let's see what kind of time he's going to put up here. Let's see if he can challenge Guitar Hero for that pole position, as he does not, 3/10 short, but still very strong. 56.6 is his fastest time. The two Canadians at the top of the board here, putting in a strong showing so far as we round into the last minute of this qualifying session. Some people on their last lap, some people looking to get one more lap in. As it stands, mentioned previously, the top 4 Toyotas will make it in. Both Ford drivers are guaranteed in. Those drivers are Trent and I believe Guitar Hero. No, correct me.
Tyro.
Is Tyro, thank you. Trent and Tyro are guaranteed in. And then besides those two, it will be the top 4 Toyota drivers who will be guaranteed into the main. As Guitar Hero sitting pretty comfortably up there, 11T looking to make one more push for that first spot. But he will get another lap in, actually. He doesn't get it there. Mean Moline has a chance for one more lap. He's so far going to be in. Hyper going to make a push for us. We're on the last lap here. Boing Peppers does not get past Hyper. With that last lap, Fetz is going to try to make a run for it here. Fetz will fall short, setting a new fastest time for himself, but doesn't look like it may be enough for making it to the main. Unfortunate for 11T as well, possibly not having his teammate into the finals with him. Well, he will not, as besides the top 4, it will be the 2 next fastest drivers in out of the 2 lobbies, so it's going to be unlikely that Fetz gets in, though there's a possibility with the fastest times combining. 11T making his last run at the line. He's not going to get it himself with 56.8. So Guitar Hero will be first out of this lobby with 11T in second, Mead Moline in third, and Hyper rounding out our guaranteed qualifiers into the main race, with Boring Peppers right there on the edge. We will see if Boring Peppers or Fetz out of this lobby get into the main. Trent and Tyro will be in the main as well, so we will see them there, and we'll get you into the main lobby and with final lineups whenever we have them.
Man, I have to say, man, being in that 5th spot, just right outside of 10th out, I have to say will be very upsetting for Boring Peppers. I really, really think he was probably not happy with that, but anywho, we'll move on to the next race.
Indeed, as a lot of these guys are hoping to keep themselves together and composed. Now they've got a bit of a rhythm into the main race, and those guys on the bubble hoping to make it in, as we'll have that announcement shortly as we get everyone in, and everyone from the A lobby as well, out of the Chevrolets and the other 2 Fords who will be making it. We will see all of them shortly into the main. 30 laps at Sardegna, C reverse. So I'm gonna go ahead and go try to find that lobby myself now. See if B-Dog has the main lobby up, which he does not currently yet. Yes, he does. Never mind, he does. I think.
I think that's the qualifying.
I'll check and see if we've got the main lobby. Nope, still not yet as he is figuring out the lineup. We'll figure out shortly, though, where we're going to be and get everyone into the main race lobby. Really quick here, while we still wait for the official starting lineup to be set up, we could do a quick breakdown of who's making it out of this lobby. So we have Biaku and Lysis, the two Fords who will be driving, making it in tonight, with the top four Chevys being Smoke14 with a 56.5, On a Mission with a 56.851, Pocono with a 56.876, and B-Dog with a 56.912. Really quick look at the Challenger Series standings coming in. Pocono, obviously making this race, currently sitting on the championship lead after the win at Daytona Oval last week. 11T in the Toyota is going to be in second place in the standings currently. Trent in the Ford will be third. B-Dog, Pocono's teammate with NTG Elite Racing, will be in fourth. 11T of MRC Racing, and Trent, owner of Team Aftershock. Then from there behind them, an unfortunate break for Wolfpack, as it looks like he may have missed the cut, but he would be sitting in fifth. Okay, I did just get the starting lineup, and I will stand corrected on that actually, as we have a bit different of a starting lineup. So here's going to be your starting lineup for the Challenger Series race. First place will be Smoke14 in the Chevrolet. Second place will be Guitar Hero in the Toyota. Third place will be 11T in the Toyota. Fourth place will be Mean Maleen in the Toyota. 3 Toyotas in the top 4. That's going to make it a very interesting challenge for some guys. Fifth place is going to be On a Mission in the Chevy. Sixth place is going to be I'm Just Hyper. Seventh place is going to be Pocono, with 8th place being his teammate B-Dog in the row right beside him. 9th place is Biako, and 10th place is Lysis. 11th is Boring Peppers. 12th is Tyro. 13th is Wolfpack, just making the cut. And 14th is going to be Trent.
Seems like those Fords out there kind of struggled this today at qualifying. But we do see those Toyotas. Seems like those Toyotas seem to have something down here at Sardegna. Seems like they have everything figured out.
Interesting thing for the Ford, though, is they could have been kind of just more playing around and experimenting with their strategy in the car, as all 4 of them were guaranteed to make it in regardless of what time they ran, with how our qualifying is set up. Can be unfortunate for some of the other guys, but to balance out powers between the 3 manufacturers, that is how it is done. So we may possibly see those 4 Ford drivers make a bit of a stronger push in the main race.
Absolutely.
As we're going to be trying to get everyone into the lobby now for the main event from the other lobby, we go ahead and take a little bit of a breakdown as well of the current standings for the teams is where I'll go with this next. So on top currently is NTG Elite Racing, which is Pocono's current championship leader of the Challenger Series here tonight, with B-Dog, his teammate, right up there in 4th in points as well. Those 2 really propelling their team to be the top of all 3 series as well, between the Sportsman Series, the Challenger Series, and the Elite Series. The Elite Series will be on tomorrow night at the same time. The Challenger Series is up on the PRA Network YouTube as the live stream went last night. That was a pretty fun and entertaining race, with the smaller Miata cars having a tougher time at this track, honestly, with the traction than these bigger stock cars. But as we wait for now the official lobby to come up, and hopefully we'll be green in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so.
See you then.
Break some sides a little bit. We'll take a look into the pit lane. A Smoke 1-4 now switches over to soft tires. Looks like most people will be starting on soft tires here. A few people still on hard tires. We're going to see if they switch over to soft tires coming into this race. Redline, you have a copy?
Yep, I have a copy.
Do you have any thoughts seeing what the drivers are running so far, and any thoughts coming into this 30-lap race?
Well, as we see, it seems like mostly the people in the back that are running the hard tires. I can see they're trying to go for that long strategy here. As we can see, the faster drivers who push their cars to an further extent are going with the soft compound, seeming like they're doing double stint. Seems like the popular strategy today will be the double stint softs.
That, or possibly pushing softs the whole way. As I've talked to a few drivers, and I know some people will be trying that method, and we will see. Personally, out of my testing, I actually found that running the soft tire for 30 laps is faster, even after 30 laps of tire wear. The laps I was running with 30 laps of tire wear was faster than my fastest lap of hards by over half a second.
True.
So
we'll be seeing various different strategies here today. We'll see which one comes out on top.
For sure, as we are, as I mentioned, going to have, I believe, let me recheck the line. It's going to be Smoke 1-4 on the pole. Smoke 1-4 is going to be driving for himself as a free agent, actually. I didn't realize that. But yes, Smoke 1-4, free agent on the top row, alongside Guitar Hero, a franchise owner. So potentially Guitar Hero might take a look at the guy on the left side of him on this start. Or maybe the right side, since turn 1 is a right-hander.
Absolutely. As we see, the race is starting to begin in about 5 seconds here. We'll see how it goes.
Indeed, as we do head to the track now, about to hop on board with the drivers as we take a pace lap around the track. In lap 2, we will go green under rolling start. So speaking of cautions, I should bring that up. How does cautions work in PRA? So our tally system works as such. I've broken record, as you've heard it probably a million times, but for those who don't know. A tally in PRA is basically a wreck of multiple cars. Each car counts as a tally. So if 2 or more cars are wrecked out, as long as the driver's not on his own, that will bring out a caution. So in most incidences, you will see a caution come out, but if someone just gets spun, if someone spins on their own, it doesn't count for anything. And if someone gets spun by someone else, then we should... it would usually count as only 1 tally. As we make our way around, the S, as I mentioned before, this S is going to be very dangerous here, especially We're going to see if people try to go too wide. I would not recommend it. I really would not recommend going too wide here. We've seen people try it in the sportsman race. Didn't go well for them. So we're going to see who tries it here, as we're going to see as well who makes a move in this first turn, as early moves will be key, but remember there's 30 laps to this race. We don't win it at the end of lap 2.
Absolutely. Mention that everyone's gonna have to be careful here at the first turn 1 dive here, as we can see them getting ready, prepared. As we can see them making the final adjustments to their cars, making sure they're piling up, making sure double file. We'll see them rounding the final corner here, getting ready for the pace. Pace car will be off this lap.
Indeed, as we'll be going green here shortly. I will let red line take us to the green as we have the pack rounding out the final corner.
You can see them approaching the restart line as we're going to wait here in a second. As you can see here, starting to rev up those cars, getting very close. As we see them. As we see here, boogie, 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 let's go! Sardegna Racing here! As we see Smoke 4 going for the taking the lead here at the pack. Guitar diving up to the inside. Levity going up for the inside dive. Hidden Smoke out wide. As you can see, Guitar here going in 3 wide, making a 3 wide between Smoke and Levity. As we see side by side with Smoke and Guitar. As you can see them getting files in here at the S's here. Very dangerous to go double file here. As we see them farther back in the pack, we see them going double wide here. Levity defending that first place position here. In front of Smoke. As we see him right into the final corner.
Yeah, what a start here for Levity, as he's going to get the jump on Smoke and take the lead here. His teammate unfortunately not making the cut, so he's going to have to do some work on his own to put some points in for the team. He's not going to let anyone to work with here, as working together with the other drivers isn't as much an option here at Sardegna as it was at the Oval. Smoke 1-4 in second. Guitar Hero falling back to third. Tyro moving his way up all the way to fourth. As I mentioned in the pre-race, these Fords would be driving a little bit harder in the main than they were in the qualifying. Mean Moline in fifth. B-Dog falling, well, actually moving up to sixth. Actually, Mean Moline runs wide in the first hairpin. B-Dog's going to look up for a move on Mean Moline. The free agent driver driving for himself in that 47 monster car.
You can see there in the back of the pack here, we can see him still trying to get situated, going to single file choo-choo train, as I call it. As we can see him around in the final corner of the S's, going towards the penalty zone. I'm going to remind you, they're going to have to be very careful making sure they don't cut too much on this track due to the penalty system here. If they cut too much, they're going to have to be resulted to a penalty, and I don't think any of those drivers out there today want to be involved with a penalty.
Of course not for those guys as well. Keeping on the track is important with these tires. They're going to have some wear going into the race, as we've talked about tire wear a lot, pretty much how to get in. Tire wear is key, as we see teammates Pocono and B-Dog running it side by side into turn 1. Pocono's going to try to make the dive on Mean Moline, and he's going to get the inside line. Mean Moline running wide, not going to be able to capitalize as Pocono takes the position. B-Dog is going to have a spot right behind, as Mean Moline's kind of stuck between the two NTG Elite Racing drivers, but B-Dog knows not to make for a move here. He's going to wait behind Mean Moline, look for a better opportunity to open in those S's.
Absolutely, as we see him going down that choo-choo train, Mean Moline is really trying to see if he can get past Pocono here. I have to say, I could probably see a dive coming up here to the final corner, trying to see if they can get something done here. As you can see, B-Dog looked for it, but he didn't quite get it. As you can see him going down that front straightaway here, is going to see a lot of drafting going towards turn 1. You can see Wolfpack kind of getting left in the dust there, as we can continue to watch the other drivers up front more. You can see him starting to get into their rhythm here, as we see him going more silent, single file to the line. You see Mean Moline, poking off into the grass. Mean Moline capitalizing on that moment.
B-Dog going to give his teammate a little bump, try to get him back into the fight, as him and Pocono are going to work together to get back up to Mean Moline. But Pocono compromises his own line into the S's, and B-Dog, with the better run, is going to take advantage, passing into 6th place. The teammates might not always work together, as Pocono runs wide into the right as well, Trent's going to make his way around for 7th, and it looks like Hyper's going to have the run to take it as well for 8th.
Absolutely tragic for Pocono here.
Indeed tragic for Pocono. Pocono is our points leader as well, so he does not want to be falling back in the pack right now, as he wants to make a run to continue leading the championship here. But this road course is going to make it difficult. We're going to see by the end who is a fluke from the oval for points and who is the real deal. I can definitely assure Pocono is not a fluke driver. He's an amazing driver, but this track is currently having his number right now. He needs to get something situated in the car to get himself together through the next 25 laps of this race.
As all the drivers here going in a single file line, making that choo-choo-ring that I talked before. And you can see Hyper is going to make an inside move on Trent here for 6th place. Or for 7th, rather. Pocono's training right into the whole line there. You can see Hyper completes the move on Trent, making it to the final corner here. You can see Trent is probably going to try to see if he can answer right back to Hyper here, going down the front straightaway. Pocono filing right in there, still in the draft with these 2 other drivers here.
Of course, as we now are going to head towards the front of the pack a little bit to see what's going on here. 11-team Smoke 1-4 Guitar Hero kind of trying to make their gap as Tyro tries to catch them. Consistency is going to be key here at this track, not making mistakes, running wide into walls or into the gravel or anywhere else. As we noticed from the race last night, it ended up being consistency was key.
Well, it seems like Trent dropped back a little bit, back to 11th here. Seems like he might have gotten caught up by something.
As we'll run on board Trent.
He's off again.
He's just having an issue with that right-hander. That right-hander after the S's is very tough, as he's just having trouble keeping the car on the track. And Trent will be going around in the final hairpin with a little bump from Lysis. That may be our first tally of the race. We will see if that will be counted. Yaku now in 9th and 10th, making a run on Boring Peppers, looking possibly for a move into the hairpin. He's going to move into the inside, looking to dive, lunging into the turn 1 hairpin. Boring Peppers running a little bit wide. Yaku looking for the run, but Boring Peppers will hang on for now. Take a move up. Pocono in 8th, looking to regain ground on the pack, trying to catch first Hyper, and then everyone else ahead, as we do start having a little bit more single filing spread out action here. But being spread out for now doesn't mean there's no entertainment at all, as these guys really, right now for everyone on this track, at least in these first 15-20 laps or so, I wouldn't say it's a fight against all the other drivers on the track, but a fight against your own car to stay in contention.
Absolutely, I have to say, really one of the things is you have to find a unity with your car here. If you're ended up fighting it, you're just going to burn more tire. If you can find that sweet spot where you're happy and the car's happy, you're going to be making magic there on the track. As you can see, Mimilene going for Tyro here, going side by side in S's. Mimilene backs off on Tyro. Still right there, still lurking. As you can see them going towards the penalty zone here, up here. Mimilene is lurking, he's thinking about it. Mimilene thinking about it again, look on the inside, and Tyro defensive on the inside. Mimilene's gonna have the line coming out on the straight. Mimilene, Tyro, side by side, going on the front straight here. Side by side into the straight. As you can see, Tyro's going to back off, going to go into get that slip here. I can see Tyro going to think about making a dive here, going to turn 1.
That was a very nice move by Mimilene, just sizing up Tyro, looking to get the move right, and just didn't happen for him. Or it did happen for him, but now Tyro's going to make the move back into the S's. Let's see if he tries to stick in. He's not going to stick in. He thinks better of it, knowing Tyro is going to get the run on the S's. So might as well just slot in behind. See if he can make that same move. See if he can make Lightning Strike twice here into the final hairpin. As Tyro runs a little bit wide, as Mimilene's going to get a better run into the final hairpin onto Tyro. Let's see if he's going to make that same move again. Tyro thinks, well no, Tyro does go defensive again. Mimilene's going to look for the undercut again. he's not going to get it. He's going to stick behind Tyro, but this will probably give him a nice run into turn 1. We'll check in behind him. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I think we both saw the same things. B-Dog slipped up in the last hairpin just a little bit with Hyper on his tail, trying to see if he can make the move of his own into 6th. We'll check in on the Tyro Mean Maleen fight. Mean Maleen still behind Tyro with B-Dog trying to fend off Hyper's. Pocono hits his way past Hyper. The teammates possibly working together there to size up Hyper for a move as Pocono's going to make his way back up to 7th. And we'll see if B-Dog gives him the green light to pass or not. We will see between those two. As Mean Maleen still trying to work his magic on Tyro. As we have a wreck here on the back straight, it is B-Dog losing it out of the uphill S. As Hyper and Pocono are going to take advantage of that. No need to worry now about who's going to pass who. Green light to not as B-Dog takes himself out of the fight for now. As Pocono's going to make his way up to 6th. Hyper in 7th.
Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, that tire wear is going to make it a lot to these drivers, making it very difficult going through those S's when there's more and more tire wear building up on those tires. As you can see, if you look at the statistics on B-Dog's car right now, you can see that front left tire is actually demolished there by tire wear.
As we're going to check that out now on B-Dog's car for the stream. Here you see at the bottom left, the front left tires, as we talked about in qualifying. This track really eats at your front left tires, so it's going to be really tough to keep the car in check through a lot of this track. Check on 11th, he kind of really making a gap for himself here at Sardegna, lap 13 of 30.
Smoke really impressing the crowd out there today, I have to say. Still hanging on to that 2nd place here as we keep going around the first corner here for him.
As we have another car around, it is Wolfpack in last place. Another victim of the concrete S, as I'll deem it now. The uphill S into the sweeping right.
Ooh, tail to tail with Mean Maleen and Tyro here coming into the penalty zone. Mean Maleen is reeling up on Tyro here, really sizing him up. You can probably see, ooh, and a move is being made into the final S's, into the final corner, and they touch! Mean Maleen really letting know Tyro, he's there to make moves.
Tyro knew better of it from the last few laps where Mean Maleen wanted him to dive hard inside and get the undercut. Tyro knew better hanging to the outside that time. Mean Maleen's now going to size up for the first turn hairpin. He's really been wanting this overtake for a while for 4th place. Let's see if he gets it here. He's going to make the move on the inside. Let's see if Tyro sticks it on the outside. He will not, as Mean Maleen does get clear of Tyro for now. But now it's Tyro on the offensive of Mean Maleen. As we do have a car around in the first hairpin, it is B-Dog losing it yet again with that tire wear really coming into play for him. He's one of those drivers who's hoping to make it through the whole race on one set of softs, not having to pit, but with the struggles of this car, he may change his mind as now Biaku and Boring Peppers of 9th and 10th are making a run and closing the gap on him. As we see Tyro still behind Mean Maleen, as they are now starting to catch Guitar Hero for 3rd place. This may become a 3-way battle, as we will hop up front real quick as well to discuss 11T, our leader. We saw last night in the Sportsman Series consistency being key with Rum Runner. As, really quick cutting me off, Tyro tried to make a very long lunge to turn 1, didn't happen. But yeah, last night with the Sportsman Series, Rum Runner had a very good run of it with fast laps and consistency, especially consistency of all of his laps being in the 59 range, almost breaking into the 58s with that Miata. Very impressive for him.
As you can see though, on the time scams, we can see them slightly falling off on the timing a little bit here, but it's not by much. But those softs probably will last them a couple more laps before really tire grip gonna fall off here.
Of course, is now 11T still gapping Smoke with a nice gap of his own. but Guitar Hero has been caught by Mean Moline. Tyro fell back a little bit. Mean Moline looking now, he got past Tyro after 5 to 6 or 7 laps even stuck behind him. But now he's going to size up 3rd place to make his move up onto the podium, as Mean Moline really having a strong showing here tonight.
As we see them approaching the penalty zone here, as we see Mean Moline really, like he said, sizing it up. Oh, and he's going to make a move here, trying to look on the inside. Seems like he's not going to complete it, backs off. He's going to probably try another one here at the final S-bend here. As you can see him trying to get a good run through the hairpin here. Oh, tail to tail here. As you can see Mean Moline right there on Guitar Hero's end.
As Guitar Hero now going to go to defensive lower line. Mean Moline's going to try to make it around the outside this time. Has the drag to possibly get side by side. Let's see if he goes for an undercut like he did earlier on Tyro. He's going to look for it, but bumps the back of Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero, knowing better, doing a really good job of defending that line. As we'll take a look ahead of them, a spin. It is on a mission on the back straight. Really losing as Smoke 1-4 makes his way past his car in a precarious position. Let's see if everyone makes it through.
Ooh.
Very close with Mean Moline, but he does make it through. Just barely, but Tyro back into the fight, now making it through himself. So, making it a 3-way fight yet again for 3rd place. Mean Moline Kurt's gonna have to do all this work all over again. But throughout this race so far, he's shown he's been up to task. Let's see if he can do it again.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say, Mean Moline must be really upset with the fact hitting that back quarter panel against that car off the track. But man, I believe he can make his time.
Tyro being the one being aggressive now, making the move of Guitar Hero while he has the chance, an aggressive lunge to turn 1, but getting it done on Guitar Hero. But Guitar Hero is going to stick it out. A better exit for Guitar Hero into the S's as he gets back into 3rd, hanging on. Tyro sizing up through the S's. Bit more momentum, backs, hits the back of Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero still staying defensive. Tyro looking for the undercut. Mean Moline right behind them, looking for a run on these two. What a fight for 3rd place as Tyro's going to make it side by side, heading into the final hairpin with the S. Tyro's going to make the first move. Guitar Hero behind Mean Moline, waiting for both of them to possibly wreck, sizing them up. Who's going to get the best run here onto the front straight? Mean Moline getting the slip behind Guitar Hero with a pretty good run of his own. Tyro with a really good run, gapping Guitar Hero just a little bit. As Mean Moline's now going to size up Guitar Hero for a potential move into turn 1. Is he going to go for it now, or is he going to wait and see? Tyro running a little wide. Mean Moline looking for the undercut and a better run into the downhill S. As Mean Moline, Guitar Hero, and Tyro with probably the best fight on the track right now. Guitar Hero sends a little bit too hard into the right hand, possibly with a little bit of help of Mean Moline, but had to hit the brakes pretty hard there, missing his braking point in the apex. Mean Moline makes the pass by the Guitar Hero, now chasing down Tyro once more. As Tyro makes it...
Oh, and Tyro's off!
Tyro's off into the gravel, running wide on that last hairpin, as he's going to fall back to 5th place with that spin. Keeping it on the track relatively, though, as Hyper's going to make the pass for 5th. Guitar Hero is going to be the first to make the gamble of the pits. Tyro's going to join him in the pit lane, as these two will be making the change off of the softs onto a second set of softs, as you predicted some drivers would. Those two struggling in their own right. Tyro with the spin early, and the Guitar Hero with the spin just before. That fight with Mean Moline really taking it out of them, tire wear-wise, and now they're going to be the first to make the jump. Hopefully looking for some faster times here afterwards to hopefully catch Mean Moline and the rest of the pack. Especially if they don't pit, that'll be a tough task.
Well, they're gonna have, remember, they're gonna have those fresh tires now. They're gonna come out of the pits and they're gonna be blistering fast. As you can see, Guitar Hero is gonna be trying to pass all these back markers here.
Guitar Hero and Tyro down to 9th and 10th, trying to slowly make their way up with fresh tires as Byaku's gonna run wide to make it easy for Guitar Hero. Evasive maneuver, good save by Byaku, by the way. Mean Moline as well is going to make the jump in, actually, himself. So all three of those guys were fighting for third, going into the pits, so me and Moline will possibly be fighting these guys as well. Though, he hops into the pits now 1 lap later, is Guitar Hero and Tyro already on the front straight. So me and Moline's really going to pay for taking an extra lap to pit, as he's going to come out, I believe he's going to come out behind those two. Boring Peppers, no, he does come out in front of the two just barely, as Boring Peppers makes the pass around. Me and Moline are looking for the undercut on Boring Peppers. Boring Peppers isn't really going to have much of a chance with these three behind, though, on fresher tires.
Yeah, as we see Moline going through the S's here, really looking for an opportunity to pass Boring Peppers here. As we see him approaching the penalty zone, where it's going to be a good exit here. It can be really good setting up for the final hairpin. Oh, as we see Guitar Hero really going right side by side with Moline, capitalizing on one of Moline's mistakes here as we go towards the final corner here. You can see Guitar Hero's now going to size up.
Lap down traffic making a little bit of an issue here with Trent and on a mission right in front as B-Dog made his way past those two guys. Well, let's see what Boring Peppers does. Can Boring Peppers defend off Guitar Hero, me, Moline, and Tyro, and for how long? As Byaku is now making the jump into the pits. Already far behind, seeing if those fresh tires can make himself a contender compared to the rest of these guys. If you're that far behind, might as well take a gamble.
Nudge.
A lot of nudging here as we're into the last 10 laps of the race. 8 to go here. Me and Moline on the fender of Guitar Hero on the fender of Boring Peppers. Boring Peppers the slower of the three. Possibly make it too wide. Not going to happen though. Guitar Hero easing off, but that gives me and Moline a chance in as these guys are now going to catch 5th place B-Dog. Me and Moline on the tail of these two. Tyro trying to catch them himself as well. We're starting to get a good little cluster of cars here.
You see Moline really hitting the back bumper of Guitar Hero. It was going to limp by, and that was really costly to those two because now they're going to have to regain all that time back up to those front guys.
That's right, the fight with those two potentially costed it for themselves. On fresh tires, but fighting each other right now. The goal really should be getting past the more worn tires, but to be fair, Boring Peppers has done an amazing job fending these guys off, as now Tyro is going to have his chance to get past Boring Peppers. What an amazing job by Boring Peppers to defend those guys off so far, and eventually getting them to wreck into each other, as Boring Peppers is still putting down his fastest lap of the race so far, and his tires aren't that worn. He's not oh, that's because he's on the Racing Hards. I will point out Boring Peppers is on Racing Hards, so he's not going to be making the pit. B-Dog's front left is completely shot in 5th place, so we'll see if Boring Peppers potentially gets a move done later on. Tyro in behind, though, on soft tires. So now we have a completely different compound difference now pointing that out. I completely missed that, Boring Peppers being on hard tires, but that does actually explain a lot of this fight, as Trenton on a mission now catching B-Dog. B-Dog really struggling on those worn soft tires, but Mission being lapped down. Tyro's going to look for the move now on Boring Peppers to hopefully finally get one of these guys into 6th. They're going to go too wide into the concrete S as Tyro's going to overdrive into the wall. Boring Peppers is going to hold on with Tyro's mistake.
Man, we're going to have to start calling that another wall of champions.
Yeah. Tyro's now finally going to make the move around Boring Peppers pretty easily into the final hairpin. Boring Peppers just couldn't hold on forever, but an amazing job by him to defend. He's going to try to make it to the end of this race. Hopefully for him, Tyro's tires allow on him again. As B-Dog now making it around 5th place. Pocono also on completely worn tires. Let's take a look at the tires around the track. You can see, if you look at the bottom left of your screen, you'll see a fuel gauge with 4 red bars, well, 4 white and red bars. Red indicating the wear, white being fully good tires. But you see the bright red on most of these cars. 11T's front left tire is shot, but he's still holding on very strong, passing Byaku and Lysos now. Smoke only making it to the first turn for him. His tire's still a little bit okay, but Piper got a lot of tire wear, going in really sharp into turn 1, but still got a bit of a gap. Pocono in 4th, making his way back up the order after his early race woes. B-Dog in 5th, trying to fend off this train behind him of black cars and Tyro. But Boring Peppers still behind. Now Guitar Hero is going to be the one to make the move on Boring Peppers, as Boring Peppers again just can't defend these guys forever.
Tyro's going to be making past those back markers here, trying really hard to see if he can catch B-Dog up here. Remember, those back markers are going to be really costly to those drivers. Are going to be faster. If you're caught behind those back markers too long, it's going to cost you lots of time, and it's going to allow those guys farther back, because they're going to be able to catch those people up front a lot faster. And it's job, you got to make it past those really fast.
This Tyro. Trent's going to make room as the lap car for Tyro to make it past. And Mission's going to make room for the lap ahead cars as well. Mean Moline getting past. Well, no, Mean Moline's going to be behind the pack. But other than that, Boring Peppers is passed. Guitar Hero is passed. Trent now kind of sizing up Tyro on the inside a little bit. That's kind of interesting. But Tyro is going to hold on with now chasing B-Dog in the completely shot soft tires of his. He's been struggling to keep that car on the track all night, even without the wear. But now with the wear, it's going to be tough to hold off Tyro on much fresher tires, with 4 going on 3 to go here. As B-Dog does run it wide, and Tyro makes it look easy.
Now the real question is, can Tyro catch Pocono up in 4th place on those shot tires?
Pocono just crossing the line onto lap 28 as Tyro exits the last hairpin. That'll be a very tall task. Let's see the laps they're running right now. Pocono's last lap was a 58.7, and Tyro's last lap was a 57.9. So he's running around 8/10 faster a lap, but he is 12 seconds behind Pocono. So unless Pocono makes a mistake, I doubt that gap is going to close enough for him. But he does still have some stuff to worry about behind him. B-Dog struggling with those tires. Guitar Hero going to look to size him up now as well. Boring Peppers trying to work the lap cars as well on his racing the hards.
Furthermore, farther back in the pack, we got Wolfpack making a move on Lyos's here, making the final turn 1 here. Going side by side.
Wolfpack gets the move done on Lysis for P11 here. Now going to look to chase Biaku down. So far, I believe those 3 were the only ones to pit, being Tyro, Guitar Hero, and Mean Moline, as everyone else other than Boring Peppers were on racing softs, just making it to the end. So interesting difference in strategies. Guitar Hero, as we check back with him, did make the move around B-Dog. Boring Peppers can make a long lunge to get around B-Dog, bumps Guitar Hero out in the process. There are no more cautions, as the caution cutoff is 3 to go, so that might just be an unfortunate break for Guitar Hero with that lunge. Gonna have to make the positions up. Boring Peppers is going to let him pass, as that was a very ambitious move on his part. Might have just saved B-Dog's bacon, though. With 2 to go, B-Dog not having to wait up on that. As apologies for that. Wow, that's a rip on my part, with the race going down at the very end, but what? I guess we're gonna get an actual, this is not the final results. Trust me on that. That's definitely not the final results. me see, as we're going to try to get back into the party with Redline. Redline, do you have a copy?
I have a copy.
There we go. A little bit of technical difficulties at the worst time possible, leaving a little bit of a cliffhanger for everyone. Wow, that's bad. Do you want to give us a breakdown of that last lap, please?
Well, as we can see, 11T took the win here at Sardegna, followed by Smoke, and Hyper rounded out the podium with third. We see Pocono rounding out fourth, Tyro making fifth, Guitar Hero at sixth, B-Dog finishing in seventh, Mimiline up in eighth. As you can see, also ByQ rounding end to ninth, got 10th with Lyosos. Boring Peppers making 11th position, and Tyro running out into 12th. And 13th, we got Wolfpack. And then down at the last minute, we got Trent up in the back at 13th.
Awesome race we had here, as we're going to now try to get 11T, our race winner, into the booth with us.
Also like to mention that Hyper also set the fastest lap of the race of a 56.204.
Yeah, while we get the winner in here, you give us a little bit of a breakdown of your thoughts of the race and overall how that went for you and everyone else.
Well, I have to say, I mean, we clearly saw that we had multiple drivers go with the two-stint strategy of softs, but you could clearly see that the soft strategy of just not pitting was actually the superior strategy here at Sardegna. And we could see that 11T clearly had that car dialed in here, and we could see Smoke really impressing the crowd out there today as a free agent. Really allow a lot of the team owners really have eyes on him for the rest of the season. And I could see that the hard strategy was clearly worked somewhat for some, and we could clearly see it was quite the race.
As we do now have 11T into the booth, check 1-2 for 11T's mic really quick if you're in the stream.
Hold on.
1-2.
11D, you got a copy? Yep.
I don't have you on. Yeah, I don't have you on the stream. Really quick, if you could get your broadcast settings up in the party. Do you not do that? You should. That, or you're just really quiet. Give me 1 second. I could. Share voice stuff. He might just be quiet on the stream's end for some reason. Yeah, on PS5 you go under Party, the 3 dots, it's voice chat settings, and then share your voice allow.
Okay. That is interesting. Alright, it should be working now.
There we go. We should have you now. So, 11C, congratulations on the race win there.
Thank you.
Consistency being key for the second night in a row. How are you feeling on the track there tonight?
Pretty good. Actually, like, my left wrist started, like, cramping up about halfway through. Not entirely sure why, but, that was a little uncomfortable. But, yeah, it was a good race. First turn wasn't exactly how I wanted to take it. I kind of dove a little deep. But I was able to get out front, and then from there, I knew my strategy was just stay on the softs and try to protect them, but still put in some good laps, and just kind of what I did. And near the end, it I had a couple hairy moments with other traffic who were on different strategies, who were faster than me, trying to come through. And I hit the wall once or twice, but it was okay. It was good.
Overall,
If you don't mind me asking,
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
if you don't mind me asking, what do you think was your secret here today at Sardegna?
Secret was, I think, just consistency. Like 1 or 2 mistakes over the whole race isn't too bad, and the first 15 laps, I would say, I think were all in the 56s. So, I think, well, passing is difficult, so I wanted to get out ahead at the start. Not exactly how I did it, but having clear out in front definitely helped.
Of course, as consistency being key, you said your strategy being staying on the softs for the whole race. I do just want to ask, or first congratulate you on this, but also ask, keeping the car pretty much one piece, not in the wall or off the track, was a tall task for a lot of guys on the track, and you kept it so consistent and so fast, while other people on that same strategy just couldn't keep the car as stable. So how was that for you, just keeping the softs on the track through all 30 laps?
Well, it's actually curious why I didn't really understand why some people wanted to get off the softs, because I found, like, you look on the bottom left of your screen and it's completely red for like your front left, but the car still felt okay. Like, you're still kind of able to do the lap times. So this track is killer though. You have to, when you know your tires aren't quite there, or if you're on the hards, you have to let off. You can't keep pushing because you're gonna end up in the wall. So it's a bit of saving them, being aware of the state of your tires, but also I think trusting them, maybe.
That's right, with trusting them, that's very key, I'd say, is just trusting the tires that you have, even if they're worn.
Yeah, it can be a mental game sometimes.
Yeah, a real test of control of the car and such, and I think you did an amazing job of it. So far, consistency proving to be key for 2 of the 3 races. We'll see tomorrow night if that is the same, as we saw some people deviate from strategy this time. And for some of those guys, it did work out in ways, but overall, the staying on the soft strategy worked for the top 3, especially for 11T. Redline, do you have any final thoughts or questions for 11T before we wrap up here tonight?
Well, congratulations, man, and well deserved.
Thank you. Alright, hopefully I'll talk to you guys next week.
Of course, hope to see you back in the booth with us with another win or strong performance, as we are about to wrap up here for tonight. One more congratulations to 11T. As tomorrow night we will be here yet again for the Elite Series, starting at the same time. They will be running the same cars for 50 laps, so they're going to have a bit more of a challenge with those tires, a little bit more strategy involved. And be sure to check out the races next week. It's going to be at Watkins Glen, the short circuit, starting on Tuesday with the Sportsman Series, Wednesday for the Challenger Series, and Thursday for the Elite Series. Thank you everyone for joining us in the night. As been your commentator 81. Congratulations again to our winner 11C, and thanks for being here, Redline.
Absolutely, we'll do it again.
Of course, as we will hope to see everybody next week. Until then,